Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this is day 2 of quarantining with Natali. As you guys can see, today is not a very good day. I didn't even have the energy to change. I'm literally still in my nightgown. I just put some vapor rub on my chest and I just made me a ginger tea because right now I'm struggling with my coughing. I've been coughing so much that my lungs are literally starting to hurt and I can feel it on my side. Other than that, like, I still had a headache, but it's not nearly as bad as it was like the first and second day. I still have no smell nor any taste. My body definitely to hurt and I can feel it on my side. Other than that, like, I still had a headache, but it's not nearly as bad as it was like the first and second day. I still have no smell nor any taste. My body definitely aches and I keep sweating a lot as well. So as far as today's nails, I am going to be doing the acrylic application. So as always, I hope you guys enjoy, and then I'll finish giving you guys an update at the end of the video. So as far as the acrylic application, I am going to be using my Cover Blush acrylic, and I'm going to be using the JC Beauty Concepts monomer. Now, when it comes to applying acrylic, the steps are always going to be the same. I personally like to do the 4-ball method just because having, a certain method to go by is a lot easier than just going in and applying acrylic randomly. But however, if that's something that you do, at the end of the day, what you're looking for whenever you're applying acrylic is a nice apex, a good thickness at the tip, and of course making sure that the acrylic is on there nice and smooth. That way you won't have to do so much work after you're done applying the acrylic. So I do have a video that talks specifically about liquid to powder ratio. I'll be sure to leave that information down below, because if you're like a beginner, I would recommend you go watch that video before you even attempt to apply acrylic on a practice hand or even an actual client, because you need to know how much acrylic to pick up. You can't just go in there, dip your brush in, dip it in the powder, and that's it. Like, there's literally a whole little technique to it. So anyways, moving on to applying the acrylic. So with these nails being long, of course we want to go in there with more product, with a large bead. So what you usually do for that is you dip your brush in, only wipe off the tip, because we want the brush to be wet to where it's going to pick up a nice size bead. If we wipe it off halfway, that would be like a medium size bead. If we wipe the entire brush, it's not as wet, which means that it's only going to pick up a little bit of product. So again, we want a large bead, so we dip the entire brush in, wipe off only the tip, and then just dip it into my powder. I like to just tap 3 times. After that, placing the acrylic right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets, and then just go ahead and start patting. And when I'm patting, I'm being super gentle, y'all, like super gentle, because if not, if you pat too hard, I feel like it makes the acrylic dry a lot faster, and then also you will be basically patting the acrylic off the nail to where it would run to the sides. After I'm finished patting, I just go in and brush that acrylic down towards the tip. That way we get a nice little coverage, and just the full coverage. So just going in, same thing, just brushing it down. And like I said, you want to make sure that when you're brushing, you're being super gentle, y'all, because then if not, you're just going to be brushing the product off the nail. As you can see, I did wipe a little bit of product off the nail, but not much at all. Like, I've seen where people will have big clumps of acrylic on the paper towel. So that was the first bead right there. Next, I'm going to go in with my second bead. So same thing, getting a nice size bead, placing it right below that first one. Same thing, patting it down. And when I pat it, that's me basically just pushing it up, making sure that it doesn't run to the sides. And then brushing it down is just so we, like I said earlier, so we get a nice coverage over the entire nail. And then as you can see, there's like a little piece of dust in there. So I'm going to go ahead and just take that off. And of course, make sure that as you're working, you're wiping your brush off a lot. Now, these are not the regular Viva paper towels that I usually use, which I can definitely tell because the acrylic gets stuck to my brush a lot easier when I'm not using the Viva paper towels, which is why I say that even the paper towels matter. So make sure that you are using good paper towels that are going to just suck in all of that liquid from your brush. Okay, so I brushed it out to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. I'm also wiping the sides off. Now, when I wipe the sides, I'm not going in there like this. I'm going in underneath the nail, if you guys can kind of see, because sometimes you do get acrylic that gets underneath the nail. But I'm using my brush, I'm using the side of the brush, and I'm just wiping underneath the nail. You don't want to go in there and just push the side of the nail in, because that's how you create that wall. And I don't know if you guys can kind of tell right there. You can kind of tell how it created that wall, and then on that side is nice and flat. So again, you want to make sure that when you wipe the sides, you go underneath the nail and not like against the side of the nail. So I'm gonna go ahead, hold on, y'all, I hate these little practice. And so now I'm just gonna go in and just brush it out to make sure that, again, I don't create that wall. So anyways, after that, once those two beads are nice and smooth, I'm gonna go in with the third bead, which this one is gonna go closer to the cuticle area. So get another nice size bead. And this one, you wanna place it as close as you can to the cuticle area, but not on the actual skin, because then that's gonna cause, you know, the acrylic to flood the cuticle. And then if you don't wipe it off immediately, it will cause lifting, and we definitely don't want that. So make sure that you're really careful. Once it's nice and smooth, or once it's around the cuticle area nice and smooth, just go ahead and brush it out. Same thing, wiping the sides off and just brushing, like I said, really gently, because we just want to smooth it out. We don't want to brush the actual product off the nail. Just like that. And even when I'm working, I'm steady looking at the nail from different angles. That way I know where I need to apply more acrylic. So I'm just going to go in with my fourth bead now. Same thing. Getting my bead, placing this one right in between the first bead and that last bead that I just placed, which was the third bead. Same thing, patting it down, and this is what's going to build my apex. So you see how I created that bead right there? Well, I want that thickness to stay right there, so I'm just going to blend that in right there, right in the middle, because like I said, I want that thickness to stay right there. So I'm not really going to brush it all the way down. I'm just brushing it like to the middle. Okay, so this is what the nail looks like. So as you guys can see, it's still pretty thin right there. So this is why I say, you know, you want to make sure that as you're working, you're steady looking at your nail from different angles. Because if I just look at it from right here, which I think we can all agree that the nail looks pretty good, it's nice and smooth. But once we turn it over to the side, that's when you're able to see all those little imperfections. So after looking at it, I can tell that right there is still flat, and then right there is still kind of flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a generous amount, and I'm going to place it right here. And then that same bead, I'm just going to brush it all the way down towards the tip to kind of hit, you know, two birds with one stone type deal. So just brushing it all the way down, blending it with what's already there as well. Wiping your brush off, and remember, y'all, make sure that you're using good paper towels, because if not, that acrylic gets stuck to your brush super easily. And like I said, I can definitely tell the difference between me using these paper towels, which I believe are the Bounty paper towels, and then between me using the Viva paper towels. Alrighty, y'all, so that was the acrylic application. Now, I only ended up doing one nail because I lost all of the other ones, but remember that the acrylic application is going to be the same all of the time. You're looking for the same thing in all nails, which is your apex, a good thickness at the tip, and, you know, just making sure that it's nice and smooth. That way you don't have to do so much filing at the end, and that's really all it is to it. But like I said, y'all, like I've already said this a million times, but the steps are going to be the same. It's all about practicing. It's all about being dedicated. So if you can just sit there and, you know, just give yourself a goal, like, okay, every day I'm going to do 5 or 10 nails. You know, like just say 5. I'm going to do 5 practice nails. You know, that's a good little start. You know, you got to start somewhere. But this is not something that's going to come to you overnight. If it did, you know, good for you. It definitely did not come like that for me. But, you know, eventually you get it, and every time that you do a new set, you're going to learn something new. But this is how I apply my acrylic. So hopefully this video was helpful to you guys. And I will see you guys tomorrow. And tomorrow I'll probably end up doing more acrylic nails. Or even just this one, y'all, because I don't want these videos to be like super duper long. So tomorrow we'll focus on reshaping and then filing, and then I don't know what the next day will be. So I'll keep you guys updated. So as far as a health update, I mean, this morning I woke up at 5:30 in the morning thinking I was ready to work. As the day went by, I kept busy, but then eventually I ended up having an anxiety attack, an emotional breakdown. I still feel tightness in my chest. My lungs had been hurting from me coughing. I ended up drinking a whole bunch of tea, so that kind of helped a lot. I haven't been coughing as much, but today definitely took a toll on me. I think you can kind of see it in my eyes. I mean, I literally just had an entire emotional breakdown, which is kind of, I feel like I almost needed it because I feel some sort of relief at the moment. But yeah, so that's how today was. So I'll keep you guys updated on tomorrow. I think tomorrow we'll be moving on to the reshaping and all that good stuff. But anyways, that was the update on today. I know it went like it was a drastic change, like it went from being good to just being almost just horrible and me being miserable. But hopefully tomorrow will be a better day. After I finish editing this video, I'm gonna take my ass to bed and try again tomorrow. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to episode 2 of Quarantining with Natali. And we'll see what tomorrow holds. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.